What happens when the person you trust most becomes the quiet danger in your own home? When illness has an explanation no doctor can find? And when a stranger risks everything to tell you the truth? The doctor said his blindness was stress. Too many hours, too much pressure, a body finally giving up after years of control. That's what they told him. Rest more, slow down, let your wife handle things for a while. So he did. He sat at the long dining table every morning, unable to see the sunlight that once filled the room. His wife moved around him softly, careful, kind. She placed the plate in front of him. Same breakfast, same gentle voice, same kiss on the cheek. "Eat," she said. "You need your strength." And every day his world grew darker. That afternoon, the girl appeared at the gate. No appointment, no name on the list. The guards almost sent her away until she said one sentence that made them hesitate. "If he eats dinner tonight," she said, "he won't wake up." They brought her inside. She stood in the living room clutching a worn backpack, eyes wide but steady. He sat across from her, cane resting against the chair. "Why are you here?" he asked calmly. She swallowed. "Because you're not blind," she said. "You're being poisoned." The room went silent. His wife laughed lightly from the doorway. "This is sick," she said. "She's trying to scare you." The girl shook her head. "She puts it in your food," she said. "Every day, small amounts, so no one notices." His fingers tightened around the edge of the table. "How would you know that?" he asked. The girl met his face, even though his eyes couldn't meet hers. "Because I used to clean your kitchen," she said, "and I saw what she mixed when she thought no one was watching." His wife stepped forward. "Get her out," she snapped. But for the first time in months, something inside him felt clear. Not fear, recognition. And in that moment, he understood something terrible. His blindness had started the same week this girl had disappeared from his house. The girl didn't move when his wife spoke. She stood there, breathing slow, like she had already decided fear wouldn't help her now. "You fired me," she said quietly, "the day I asked why you were adding something new to his meals." "That's a lie," his wife replied instantly. "You were careless. You broke things." The man raised one hand, not angry, not loud. "Enough," he said. Silence fell again. He turned his head slightly toward the girl. "What did you see?" he asked calmly. She opened her backpack and pulled out a small glass vial wrapped in tissue. "This," she said. "You kept it in the spice cabinet, behind the flour. You always added it last." His wife took a sharp step forward. "That's not—" "Let her finish," he said. The girl's voice shook now, but she didn't stop. "You said it was for his nerves. You said doctors recommend it, but you never ate the food yourself. You always made a separate plate." That detail landed hard. He leaned back in his chair, chest tight. He remembered it now. Her plate always different, always excuses. "I wasn't hungry. I already ate. I'll eat later." His wife's tone changed, softer, careful. "You're listening to a child," she said. "You trust her over me?" He smiled faintly. "I trust patterns," he said, "and mine are lining up." He turned to the head of security. "Call my doctor," he said, "and the lab. Tell them I want my blood tested, now." Color drained from his wife's face. "This is ridiculous," she said, but her voice lacked strength. "You're embarrassing yourself." The girl took a step back. "I didn't come to ruin anything," she said. "I came because if you eat tonight, you won't wake up." The room felt smaller, closer. He reached for the bell beside his chair. "From now on," he said calmly, "no one cooks for me but my staff, and tonight my wife doesn't leave this house." His wife laughed once, sharp and hollow. "You can't do that." "I already have," he replied. For the first time, the girl saw fear in the woman's eyes, and for the first time in months, he felt something else return. Not sight, control. The test results came back faster than anyone expected. He sat alone in his study, fingers resting on the arm of the chair, listening to the clock tick like it was counting something down. The girl waited near the door, quiet, trying not to take up space. His wife paced behind him, heels clicking too fast for someone who claimed to be calm. The doctor's voice came through the speaker, careful but firm. There are traces of a compound in your blood. Low doses, long-term exposure. It explains the vision loss, the fatigue, everything. The room froze. It's reversible, the doctor continued, if exposure stops immediately. His wife laughed again, but this time it broke halfway through. "This is insane," she said. "People take supplements all the time." "That compound," the doctor replied, "is not a supplement." Silence returned, thick and heavy. He exhaled slowly. "Thank you," he said, and ended the call. No one spoke for several seconds. Then he turned his head toward his wife. "How long?" he asked. She said nothing. "How long?" he repeated, calm but unmovable. Her voice dropped. "You were slipping away from me," she said. "You trusted everyone else more than me. I was trying to help." "By killing me," he replied. The girl flinched at the word. His wife didn't. "I needed time," she said. "Time to secure things. Time to make sure I wasn't left with nothing." He nodded slowly, as if confirming something he already knew. "So you blinded me," he said. "You took my independence, my authority, my body." Security stepped closer without being told. He turned toward the girl. "What's your name?" he asked gently. "Lena," she said. "You saved my life, Lena," he said. "Why?" She swallowed. "Because my father died the same way, and no one believed him." That landed harder than any confession. He closed his eyes. For the first time, darkness didn't feel permanent. "Take my wife into custody," he said quietly, "and make sure Lena is protected." His wife's voice cracked as they led her away. "You'll regret this. You can't see without me." He didn't answer. When the door closed, he turned toward Lena again. "Stay," he said, "until I can see again." She nodded. And for the first time in months, the world didn't feel like it was ending. It felt like it was coming back. The house felt different once she was gone. Not quieter, cleaner, like a pressure had lifted from the walls themselves. Lena sat on the edge of the sofa, unsure where to put her hands, unsure if she still belonged now that the danger had passed. "You don't have to stay," he said, sensing her hesitation, "but I'd like you to." She nodded. "Until you're better," she said. "That's all." The treatment started immediately. IV drips, controlled meals. No food touched his plate until 3 people checked it first. Days passed, then weeks. Slowly, almost shyly, light began to return. At first, just shapes, shadows, the outline of a window. He didn't tell anyone right away. He wanted to be sure. One morning, he sat at the table and realized he could see Lena's silhouette clearly, the curve of her hair, the way she tilted her head when she was thinking. "I can see you," he said softly. She froze, then smiled, wide and real. "That's good. That's really good." News moved fast after that. His wife was arrested. The story broke. Headlines talked about betrayal, greed, attempted murder. His name filled the news again, but this time it felt distant, unimportant. What mattered was the quiet routine he and Lena had built. Tea in the morning, short walks in the garden, long talks at night. One evening as the sun dipped low, he said, "When I couldn't see, I learned who people really were." She looked at him. "And now?" "I choose them," he replied. Lena never asked for anything, not money, not favors. When he offered to pay for her studies, she hesitated. "Not because I warned you," she said, "because you want to." "I do," he said, "and because the world needs people who speak up." Months later, his sight was fully back. The first thing he did wasn't return to work. It was stand in front of her and look at her properly. No fear, no shadows, just truth. "You didn't just save my life," he said. "You gave it back." She smiled. "Then don't waste it." He didn't. And the girl who once hid at the gate became the woman who walked with him, not as a savior, not as a servant, but as someone who saw him clearly when he couldn't see at all.